What's up, guys? Video number 69 of working on the Porsche. It's probably not actually 69, it's probably like the 10th video because I suck. Should be like the 100th video. But we're working on the coolant lines right now, which are going from the front radiator to the rear engine. So we're going to have some of these. Grab them real quick. We're going to have some of these finish line factory AN lines from the radiator to the hard lines, and then from the hard lines to the engine and back. So I'm going to be showing you how to make some of these. We got some Dash 20 lines and some fittings, super high quality. Shouts out to my boy at Finish Line Factory, super cool dude. What's up, Corey?
What's up, Twitch?
Oh, okay. And yeah, this is 1 3/8 aluminum tubing, doing basically a single pie cut per 90, putting each cut at 22.5 degrees, which I'm doing on my Evolution chop saw, metal chop saw, which is super great. If you don't have one, you should pick one up if you do fabrication. But yeah, basically it just gives a slight smoother transition on the 90s. Let me set this over here. And basically, yeah, this is the front section. Goes like that. Trying to make these fairly symmetrical. And then from here, these are going to go bend down under the car, and then run to the back, and then over the rear wheel, kind of in a similar fashion, and then somewhere to the engine. So let's get started. So a bit more progress here. I got this bracket made. What I did was put a riv nut into the body here, and then the reason I only welded it here and not here is because I still want to separate these pipes, which is also why this only has one little weld down there. So I'm going to separate the pipes, which is just going to make it a lot easier to weld in here and stuff. So that's what's going on there. And then the same basic bracket as this, just different bends. So they're going to be cut right at that line, and then they are going to go right in there, and they're going to bolt that to there. And then I'm not worried about this because I'm going to have a side skirt hanging down, so that'll be covered. And then I may even make a skid plate or something for this, or some sort of protection, just so I don't bash it. But I'm also planning on doing a full belly pan on the car, so that should be fine. And then, as we head back, I had to do a seam there, because the pipe I got is only 3 foot long, so had to do a seam, not a big deal. And then from here, it's going to come up there, across, and then probably enter into the engine bay somewhere in here, which is right here. I'm not totally sure on that yet, but we got this guy and we got that guy, so both of those will have to come up and go to there with some of the soft line from Finish Line Factory. And here's another one of those another one of the fittings from them. See if it'll focus on this. Maybe if I do it manually, I don't know. No, it just doesn't really like it. But yeah, check my boy out. Great fittings. Been using them for years on all my cars and never had any leaks or anything. So yeah, that's how it's gonna be. So now I'm going to show you how to install riv nuts, which are these guys right here. Basically, they're threaded on the inside. They have this little knurled section right here, which smushes down and grabs a piece of sheet metal. So what you got to do, you got to drill a hole. just like that. And then we're going to spray a little primer in there. A little bit of primer in there. And then you take your tool, put it in, and squeeze. Sometimes you'll have to retighten it. Cheap ass tool. Probably be better if I had a better one, but boom, until it's till you can feel that it's bottomed out. And you loosen it. Mine, you just loosen this little handle right here. And then you have a threaded hole. These will be some nicer bolts eventually, but this is just right now for mock-up, which would be totally fine. Boom. And this one is secure. They're still not welded together, so the rear one's not very secure. Alright, now we're slowly moving back. I got this mount welded up, and basically what I'm doing for each pipe, which is kind of annoying, is taking the pipe, or taking this little test piece, using that to find the angle. Then I'll measure and see how far I need to go, cut the pipe, and then I mark the pipe. Usually do 2 marks with a Sharpie, and then that gets me where I want it to be. And then I'll take it over to my welding area and drop about 3 tacks usually, which will hold it in place, but it'll also make it easy if I need to cut it off and, you know, relocate it. It would be easier if I brought the welder over here, but then I don't know why I'm not going to do that, or why I haven't done that. I might do that. Towards the front, it was sort of easier to be over there, but now that I'm this far, it's probably easier to TIG weld it over, like, on the car. So that makes a lot of sense. So let's do that. Bonus feature. We're going to be installing this Too Much Fab. It's like some breather, fuel tank breather vent thing. I don't really know. But it's a cool piece. Basically from the fuel tank vent line, comes into here, and then on this side is just like a standard sintered brass filter, and it just reduces the fume smell. It's probably basically just a little charcoal canister. So we're going to toss it right here. Already marked one of the holes, so now I'm going to grab my drill bit and drill a hole, and then we're going to riv nut it. And again, I'm going to spray some primer in there. Little extra primer on the outside is no big deal, but I just really want to make sure I cover whatever's on the inside. Prevent it from rusting later on down the road. That's the main goal here. And then we put the riv nut on the riv nut tool and tighten it down. Mine's a bit tough because this thing is well used, and I love me some riv nuts. And then shove her in there. Don't know what that popping sound was. That was a bit different than usual. One rib nut down, tossing some random bolts in there. We're going to eyeball level it because it's not critical. Pretty good right there. secrets. Another riv nut. Another day, another riv nut. That's what I always say. Words to live by. This one's grumpy on the way out. Boom. There she is. The reason I put the logo on the inside isn't because I hate them or anything. I don't know these guys. But the two ports on the bottom, one goes to the tank, the other one goes to the filter. The one to the tank is right here. The filter one's on the outside. So it's going to kind of be more convenient this way. But yeah, it's mounted up. It sits a little bit above this, but the fender sits, you know, way the fuck above this because it's got those giant stupid headlights that I love. And this is it. So I took my own advice of bringing the TIG welder over here, which worked out nicely until I ran out of material. So we got that far and then I ran out of material, but let me crank this fucker down a little bit. But we did get boom and then boom all the way to the back. So we made it here, which is good. Got a plate cut out for the rear. And then on just to fill you guys in, on this side of the plate I'm probably gonna have another plate sort of as like a finished trim panel. And then if we come up here, I'm thinking the same thing for that one as well, just because you know, it's kind of ugly and I don't really know any better way to finish it. And naturally this plate has to be on this side because yeah, it's attached to the tubes and the tubes are on this side. And this is where we are. I got some of these welded up until I think yeah, these aren't welded, but these are welded. And I'm not the best TIG welder in the world, but you know, I'm getting there. If it wants to focus, which my camera doesn't ever want to do. So yeah, that's where that is. Got the hanger made. Boom, riv nutted there. Another hanger made, riv nutted there. And then I will probably do one more hanger somewhere in that area, because it'll be mounted there and then mounted there, so kind of wherever the middle is where I'll shoot for a hanger. But back here, you know, we got plenty of clearance. This is sitting level with the wheel well. And boom, up there. It's probably 4 to 6 inches up from here, which is fine. This hangs down a little bit, but like I said earlier, we'll have a bit of a side skirt that comes down, and then I also may make some sort of protective skid plate just for the lines. We shall see what I do about that. And then also the first hangers right here. Boom. Hanging out, doing its thing. And a little technical info for you nerdy folk who I like. So this tubing is 1.25 inch inner diameter, which is the same as -20 AN, which is what the soft lines are going to be. I think it's 1 3/8 outer diameter roughly. I calculated that each foot of this tubing will weigh about 1/2 pound, And in total, I don't know, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I ordered 9 of the 3-foot sections, which is 27 feet. So realistically, this will fill up with 13.5 pounds of water coolant, which isn't anything really. Yeah, maybe 15 pounds of coolant after I get that one more and whatever. Yeah, not bad. So yeah, I don't know, it's probably 60, 61. Let me go see. Yeah, 1 3/8 outer diameter, 0.58 wall. I ordered 10 3-foot, so I have 30 feet here, which is 15 pounds of water. Plus I need 1 or 2 more. So yeah, whatever, negligible. And then I ordered it from DX Engineering. Alright, so I brought it back over here to get everything welded up. And on the trip over, this whole rear section broke off, which kind of sucks. But I'll get everything else welded, and then I'll get this tacked again, and drop a little bead on it before I bring it over here. And then I was able to sort of just split those enough to where I can get a weld in between there. And then I still have the one tack weld right here. And then I should be able to split it and weld these seams as well, no big deal. So let's do some welding. One down. So I got these 2 fittings right there. I got those guys tacked in place. So now I'm going to make the line that goes from here to here. And then I can make the lines that go from here to the to this guy, which is probably going to be, you know, essentially right behind the radiator, probably like this. And then I'm going to 180 off it to that fitting. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how I assemble these Finish Line Factory fittings. So I got my line cut. To cut the line, I use some of these, which are made by All-Star Performance. They're meant for cutting big AN lines up to -20, which is what these are. Then what you're going to do is take this end, which I will. I already got this one halfway assembled. I just wanted to show you guys what was going on. I like to keep you guys in the loop as much as I can. So then, fitting looks like this. What you're going to want to do is get this in there, and you want to make sure you get all the strands in there. It just makes assembly much easier. And also these are nylon, but they still have stainless on the inside. Sometimes they're all stainless and they will fuck you up. So basically, I've got to be careful because this side sucks. But basically, you give it a little twist and push. You want to get it all the way in there to where this hose is just to the thread, or, you know, just right there. And then you're going to want to take some anti-seize thread stuff, just fuck the threads up with this. Put it on your finger. It'll never come off your finger ever again. Just live with that. It's there. If you use the silver stuff, it's going to look like you fingered the Tin Man or Tin Woman, depending on what you're into. And then these fittings, I'm going to want them staggered about like that, basically opposite. So you can crank it down by hand at first. And then also this, it does have a swivel in it, so it's not hugely critical, but swiveling it's kind of tight sometimes. So then what I do, throw one end in the vise. They do make some fancy aluminum like vise chucks to hold your fittings and other aluminum things that you're not supposed to scratch. But a rag works fine, little pieces of wood work fine. And then, since you guys don't have a massive wrench, you have to take a C-clamp. And I just assume you don't, because I don't, but maybe you guys do. Maybe you guys don't suck as much as me. Then you're going to put the rag on there, tighten the C-clamp, and you use the C-clamp like an adjustable wrench. And you tighten it, tighten it, tighten it. Keep going until she's bottomed out, or basically bottomed out, whichever one you can manage to do. The more the merrier. It does start to get pretty tight once you're about quarter or eighth inch away, but that just really depends on your fittings. Yeah, try to make sure you don't get your rag stuck in there, because that'll prevent you from going tight as you can. No rag stuck in there. Then just see if we can get a little extra out of her. There you have it. Got a little bit of anti-seize on there, but you can see no scratches, which is good. And then there's our freshly assembled line. Now let's go see if it fits. Now this line that we just made will be going from the upper coolant pipe to the rear of the whatever you want to call those. I guess coolant pipes as well. They're all coolant pipes. So we're gonna get that one snugged on there. Make sure you don't cross thread it, because that would be an expensive fix. These fittings aren't cheap, except if you go to Finish Line Factory. They're way cheaper, way better price than any of the Earls or anything. And from what I've seen, they're the same quality or the same enough quality. And boom, it'll fit perfectly once we get the fitting welded on that side. And that is all for now. I need to order a couple more fittings because I kind of misjudged the size of these things. So I need to do that. And then I just need to figure out where I want to put that little thermostat housing that I was showing you. So thanks for watching. Subscribe. On the next episode, we're going to be doing the rear seat delete. Probably some brake lines, maybe some fuel lines. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned.